For the sake of her first love, the woman personally caused the death of the man's grandfather, and to treat a small wound on her first love's palm, she heartlessly abandoned the man's pregnant sister, leaving her to die in the street. In just one day, the man lost all of his family. Afterward, he wore his school uniform, burned paper offerings for himself, and collected his own remains. Then he threw away the keepsake the princess had once given him, and quietly lay down in the coffin he had built with his own hands, waiting for death. Yet before his final breath, he remembered how his sister once begged him to live well. But in this life, he had failed everyone except the woman. Even so, he regretted marrying into her family. At that moment, the princess suddenly felt a sharp pain in her chest, but she did not know the man she loved most was already slipping away from her. Days later, the woman came to his house looking for him. When she saw the coffin in the courtyard, she thought his sister had not yet been buried. It wasn't until the servant carried out a memorial tablet that she realized the truth. Still, she refused to believe it, and forced the coffin open. There she saw the man, his hair already snow white, and she collapsed in despair. 5 years earlier, the man had been a renowned scholar known throughout the land. When every prince invited him to join their side, he chose instead the least favored princess. With his help, her career flourished rapidly. Yet at this moment, the woman entered with her first love, and publicly declared she wanted to annul the imperial marriage decree. But to stabilize the nation, her father forced the marriage through. From that day on, she resented the man bitterly. In their second year of marriage, her father passed away, and the first thing she did after taking over was strip the man of his position, banishing him to the cold palace. There he worked in freezing winds, reviewing documents while coughing constantly. But the woman dismissed it as an act for sympathy. She even banned him from preparing medicine, claiming the scent bothered her first love. The next day, her first love visited the cold palace to mock him, boasting that his accidental rescue of the woman had in fact been carefully planned, then added that the man's grandfather was kneeling outside her home that very night. His grandfather had begged her endlessly just to let the sickly man come home, but she refused to answer. When the man heard this, he rushed over immediately, and seeing his frail grandfather kneeling, his heart broke. He begged him to return home, just as the woman opened the door. But instead of compassion, she sneered and accused them of putting on a pitiful act. The crowd nearby erupted in anger, scolding the woman, saying that without the man's help, she would never have achieved such greatness. Furious, the woman snapped that she had no divorce letter for him, and slammed the door shut. The grandfather spat blood in rage, and collapsed unconscious. The next day, the man knelt before her, begging for the sacred snow lotus to save his grandfather's life. But shamed before the people the night before, the woman's anger only deepened. Seeing him pale and weak yet still kowtowing non-stop, she yanked him up harshly, and demanded he kneel outside for 500 more. He did as told, but after 500 kowtows, her first love mocked him again, stomping the snow lotus into mud, and swore he would never hand it over. The man said nothing. He only cradled the broken petals carefully, but by the time he returned home, his grandfather was already dead. Grief overwhelmed him. He coughed blood and collapsed, and the doctor revealed his neglected illness left him little time to live. But the man no longer wished to survive anyway. Just then the woman stormed in. Having been told by her first love that he and the doctor were too close, she threw him on